Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 51 of the Realm Recap. I'm Jason from Yakface.com, joined once again by Flyguy from Flyguy.net.
Good evening, Jason and interwebs. A fat and juicy week awaits us in news.
Yes.
That's for sure.
Very busy. It didn't seem like it. It always seems like this, actually. At the beginning of the week, it's like, is there going to be enough to fill a show? And then,
Both. Yeah,
plenty. From toy news to, comic news to Rebels and Force Awakens news, all sorts of good stuff this week. But as always, we'll start with the toy stuff first, starting with Hasbro. It's kind of refreshing. Mission series stuff continues to be found at retail. Last week I kind of missed out, but the past couple days I've scored up pretty well. I've picked up 4 of the 5 Mission series sets that are out now. I still need to get the IGRM droid pack with the Chikatro Vizago, whatever the heck his name is.
His name is, I know.
I always want to say cilantro. I think I've said that before. That's all I say. Anyway.
But
no,
go for it.
I was going to say, I've had pretty decent luck recently. I think these started showing up in stores last week, as we talked about on our last show. And, just within a week's time, I was able to pick up a majority of the sets available. So distribution's pretty decent for these so far, at least for Target.
Well, I mean, we probably online stores should be getting these the next week. 5 to 7 days or so, you should begin to see them at least landing anyway. So they're definitely getting out there. So yeah, this wave is beginning to distribute. So yeah.
I'm gonna skip over one here. Speaking of the Mission Series ones, these turned up this morning on the Amazon.com website for the $10.99 price point, and a lot of those. I think all the sets were available, and those sold through fast. And one of the links that we had posted via our Facebook page is where it was shared from our friends at Jedi Defender. Now, most of the figures I've seen have jumped up quite a bit in price. Almost $20 for some of them.
Love that scalper there. That's fantastic. That $10 pack up to $40. That's so nice of them, isn't it? Okay, so yeah, Sabine and Stormtrooper are a little bit pricey right now, but yeah, you're right. It was the standard prices for them. That's for sure.
Yeah, those are being fulfilled by Amazon directly, and then some of these other ones that are, like you said, that $38 one or whatever it is being sold by another party. Not Amazon directly, so you're paying a little bit of an inflated price there, but
I love how people can take something at that price immediately and then flip it for 4 times the price.
Right.
So yeah, lovely.
You'd almost think that some people might have purchased multiples when it was $10.99.
Absolutely.
And then just flipped it right back over.
Very common occurrence. Very common occurrence. But then, I mean, that's not to say it's any selling.
Right.
I feel on their money easily partied at $37.95. So, that's for sure.
I think you and I both know someone that might have spent that much money on one of the Sabine and Stormtrooper packs.
Yeah.
It wasn't me, it wasn't you, but it's someone we both know. And we give him some hard time about that. But anyway, there was an article posted earlier this week. It wasn't directly related to Star Wars in general. It was more towards the Marvel stuff. I'm trying to think who it was. I think it was Idle Hands that might have had that information out.
Idle Hands, yep. We'll just link through to that in just a second, but yeah.
Yeah, they had posted an article regarding some, new Marvel products that are going to be coming out. They're going to be showcased at Toy Fair here next week. And basically within the article was a new 6-inch line of figures that are very comparable to the, the Titan Heroes, whatever you want to call them, the shampoo bottles, I guess is their affectionate name. There's now going to be a 6-inch scale of those, And basically, you could almost bet that whatever Marvel, Hasbro does for the Marvel line for that will probably get translated over to Star Wars at some point.
It would make sense. I mean, they've got the license to do it in all sorts of scales, which is why you can't even get figures like the recent Hot Toys Avengers line is still bobbleheads, even though they're, you'd think they could stand on their own as kind of vinyl figures, these artist series collection, but they can't be. So Hasbro really owns that license, and they've got the reign to do it. So as long as Lucasfilm approves it, so. But do they want to kind of pee in their own pool of having the kind of the two 6-inch lines? Maybe that would be confusing, or I don't know. But
well, you kind of figure that there's going to be a kid's 3 3/4 inch line, and then a collector's 3 3/4 inch line, and there's going to be
Sure.
a kid's 6-inch line, and then a collector's 6-inch line. So I mean, it makes sense in that regard. We could. Anyone could say, well, this is just diverting funds to make better, either 3 3/4 inch figures or 6-inch figures or whatnot. But either way you look at it, Hasbro's in the business to sell toys. Whether it pans out for them or not, that's up for the consumer to decide. But they're going to try something, and just because they show it at Toy Fair doesn't mean it's necessarily going to be picked up and sold later. I mean, there are plenty of lines. I can't remember what that. It's kind of like the Constructabots line.
I know exactly. Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
It was Amped, I think it was what it was called.
That's right. That's what it was. That's it.
There was a Star Wars line they showed. This was a couple years ago. I think it was like 2012 or so. That they were going to have like it's kind of like Lego mixed with
Lego Technics. Almost.
Yeah. They were going to have a Star Wars line like that, and it never panned out. And that kind of evolved into that Constructabots line or whatever for Transformers.
That's right, yeah.
So, like I said, this might not pan out, but we've seen other things pan out, whether it's been Angry Birds or, fighter pods or whatever. So it might have a limited, Star Wars Command.
Well, I mean, the Marvel Masters is kind of, I don't think it's sold particularly well, but they're continuing to invest money into it. I think given the strength of the movie, the Avengers, and some of the Marvel properties coming out over the years, I think they'll keep it going for a little bit longer. But I mean, you can see pretty quickly lines like Command, which is already on massive clearance and still won't shift.
Yep.
It's a gamble for them, but 6 inches is a very popular size. So
yeah, and like with those mashers, a lot of different companies are doing that kind of a scale line of build a figure kind of, There's the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle ones. I mean,
that's right.
Having daughters, we kind of wander over to the girl section every now and then if they get me over there, and
dragging daddy along.
Yeah, My Little Pony has a figure kind of line where
that's right, yeah.
You assemble the actual characters yourself. All the pieces come on little sprues, little trees, and I think a lot of different manufacturers are going to that line where it's customizable. That's how they're going to sell it, but it's technically, it's probably a way to save them money,
Sure.
in an assembly standpoint.
I think there's a little bit of, Lego has the diamond line in terms of profit and profitability and scale. Yeah. I think Hasbro definitely, desperately wants a bit of that market. So the construction build things in some ways is a great way to kind of tie in, but I think the secret sauce for Lego is the minifigures, but that's a different story. So
yeah, and they tried that with that
Creo. Yeah, that's right.
That's not really been the.
Yeah.
It hasn't really taken off as some of them are cool. I've picked up some of the figures from that assortment of, I think, mostly Transformer figures, but
G.I. Joe and others.
Yeah. So
don't set the world on fire. But interesting stuff. We'll find out next week, hopefully.
Let's see what else this week. Just reported earlier today, the not mission series, but the Imperial Troop Transport has started to show up at stores at ToysRUs.
That's excellent. And you're seeing someone in Detroit, Michigan found it for only $10.99. That's crazy.
Yeah, it's one of those things when, it's fresh off the truck. It's not been properly entered into the system yet.
Mm.
one of those kind of things. And he said that I read further. He commented on our Facebook post regarding this. He said he actually bought it for $1 because of rewards that he had, and a coupon or something that he applied to it. So he was able to get this vehicle. It's typically a $22.99 vehicle at Toys R Us. He was able to score it for $1.
Only in America. Fantastic.
Only in America.
No.
So those are out there. Jedi Temple Archives also posted a similar report where someone had found that in Illinois. So as soon as I received this report, I immediately went to 2 Toys R Us. Of course, I didn't find one. But, they are out there.
So there you go. I was out and about. So
the photographic evidence is out there. So you have to check your stores. They haven't popped up online yet. So what else? Regarding Toys R Us again, some of the Amazon exclusives have started to pop up at Toys R Us Express stores, and for people who don't know what that is or don't have them in their area, they're kind of like little satellite shops that are usually set up around the holidays.
Mm-hmm.
Stores have started to receive the Slave 1, the Vintage Collection Slave 1 at those stores, and also the Droid Factory 6-pack of figures that were out last year.
I'd be cautious about the Slave 1 with the controversy that some of these may be from their kind of warehouse returns or issues, and I'd definitely check the box carefully.
Right.
Unless it's in the white mailer, but the Droids packs you're probably not going to have any issues with. But yeah, they're bargains at that price, that's for sure. So.
Yeah, and I think those, you don't have to worry about. I wouldn't think you would have to worry about, not getting a complete set in the case that you buy, because I think it says right on the box that you're not supposed to split the case.
That's right.
And sell, piecemeal. I don't think the figures themselves even have UPC codes or anything on them.
That's right. There's definitely, I remember something on the back of them as well. I had them a long time ago, but
those are starting to show up. If people, those went for dirt cheap, last year, like $15 for sets of those online. So if you missed out, you're probably not going to get them for that decent of a deal. But if you missed out, you might be able to find those at your local Toys R Us Express if you have one. Today, amongst my travels, I hit up a couple of Walgreens stores. Not necessarily looking for prototype Boba Fett's or anything Star Wars related. I was kind of looking for those new Funko Pop exclusive waves that are coming out. And those are Marvel figures, not Star Wars. But a couple of different stores that I had gone to still had the prototype Boba Fett out. This one store that I visited had one, along with the Yoda wave of 6-inch figures.
Well, I mean, I think it's still orderable online, the Proto Fett, if I'm correct, from Walgreens. So, save yourself a trip and get it online if you wanted to. But, yeah.
And then I went to another store another Walgreens right after that, and they had 4 of the prototype Boba Fett's.
Wow. He's still out there.
Weird sighting, even this far out.
Yeah.
You and I had both shared this topic earlier this week, and also we discussed it last night on the Wolfpack podcast, but this was in regards to the port slowage over on the West Coast regarding all of the ships and containers that have yet to be loaded and whatnot.
Yes, so we were saying last night, and there's a longer discussion on this on the Wolfpack, as Jason just said, but the port, as it normally looks, is relatively organized. It's very tidy and neat, but at the moment it's just chaos, and there's just literally just containers everywhere, which is the key port for bringing in toys from Asia, and you and I shared both the same image there. This is boats literally floating away off in the harbour, and as you were saying last night, these companies can't even get their boats back to get new stock put on them because they're stuck in the bay and they can't offload. So expect long delays, as we were saying last night, and really, I think there's going to be shortages on a lot of figures, and I was kind of recommending pre-order stuff wherever you place it, online or whatever you can get it, because I think things will be tough to get. So yeah.
And another thing we touched on a little bit last night, people in various places, whether in forums or comment sections or social media, have commented, well, why is some of this new product now hitting the shelves versus the old stuff that's we've been waiting for a while. All these, the first wave of Rebels figures, let's say, people have not seen those, but they're now seeing, wave 2 of the mission series. Well, if you come to think of it this way, like let's say you get a bunch of stuff shipped to your house and you have someone that doesn't care about what's in the boxes come and unpack it. Do you think they're going to move all of the boxes out of the way to get to the stuff that's in the middle of the pile, or are they going to unload and unpack the stuff that's in the outside?
Well, a good example is the Rebels stuff you were talking about last night. The everyone's saying, oh, they're beginning to hit stores and online will come shortly in terms of the these new Rebels figures. But in some ways, they're already delayed because the Rebels figures, the first wave should have been around, I don't know, was it October or something? I think it was supposed to be.
Yeah.
So imagine that wave should have hit then, and the second wave should have probably hit in the new year or just at the beginning of the new year. So these figures necessarily are probably late. We're just thinking they're turning up now. So yeah, it's everything may be delayed, and I guess there'll be a lot of marketing plans, as we were saying last night, that'll change, and we'll think things are on time, but actually I think they'll all be just rearranged and delayed. And Hasbro is a massive distribution center, so they can, once they get the goods in, they'll sit with them and then they'll redefine their schedule and send them out to online and offline stores. So
yeah,
but just
hopefully it gets sorted out.
Yeah, exactly.
Soon.
Sideshow's affected too. Lots of companies are going to be in this same boat, if you pardon the pun. So no pun intended. But yeah, it's going to be a weird time for toys. I think if they go through with this, it'll be a kind of crazy situation. So
yep. Moving on from Hasbro stuff, Sideshow this week, Hot Toys to be specific, they revealed or released new final images for the Stormtrooper 6-scale figures that are coming out here. I guess later this year, but they look pretty decent as far as the final product. They posted.
There's something about. Yeah, I mean, they posted a ton of images and gave these to some bloggers, and primarily to. I know, some really fun images and lots and lots of bloggers. 82, I think it was, or 84 images shared. So complete Stormtrooper porn going on there. But some of that seems very squat and short about some of the helmet designs for me. Yep. Don't know. They do look good, but
yeah, certain angles look.
Yeah, kind of weird, kind of strange in some ways, but it's very hard to get a good Stormtrooper helmet right. I think we've shared a lot of Stormtroopers over the 51 odd shows from different companies, Revoltech, Bandai, and others, and sometimes they can really make them quite stylized and different. But these do look good, and
yeah.
some great effects, and even more of a nudge towards, I guess, the what is that little bit of Velcro going on there? That's strange. I've never seen that before. I guess that's maybe the.
Is it for the holster? I guess.
Yeah, I guess. I don't know. I've seen an angle like that before, but they do look good. They do look good. So yeah, lots and lots of photographs. Take your time and have a look through them all. But if you've got the previous Sideshow ones, it'd be good to see some comparisons to them. But yeah, good old Hot Toys. Looking forward to them.
Yep. So if you haven't seen those images, we'll have a link in our show notes, and you could take it right to the Hot Toys gallery and check those out. Like you said, there's over 100 images in there now, I think, for the particular gallery.
That's right, they added more. That's right. So
yeah.
They did.
Let's see. I think we could skip number 2. I think that was last week. We talked about that. Moving on to the other and customs bit of news. Gus Lopez, who, if people don't know, he's a huge collector who probably is on par with Steve Sansweet in regards to the uniqueness of some of the items that he has. He posted a new acquisition this week, some Force Awakens
you
swag.
wanted to say Force Unleashed there, didn't you?
I know, I had to double pump on that one. Special effects crew swag, hat, shirt, jacket, something.
It's very cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, Gus Lopez, what a collection that guy has. If you're not a fan of, you've never seen some of his posts or some of the stuff that he does at the Star Wars Collectors Archive, definitely check them out. Good podcast over there too. But yeah, he's got a lot of toys, that man, a lot of stuff. So very, very cool. Yeah, episode 7. Jeez, it's coming.
Let's see. Kotobukiya had a couple of different announcements this week. First off was they, have expanded their, cooking kitchen type of wares. They make those different silicone trays for, ice cube, shapes, and, I think you could throw other food stuffs through those. But they also revealed this week these pouch pocket sandwich shapers. I don't know if you saw those.
I thought we were skipping that. I'll just click back in that link and have a look. Yeah, they do all sorts of stuff. Millennium Falcon ice, kind of huge, ridiculously huge ice cubes. There we go. There's the sandwich makers, and Hanon carbonite and so forth. But yeah, that's crazy. Okay.
Yeah. So I mean, I've never done these before, but essentially, I guess you put a slice of bread on there, and then put some jelly on top, and then put another loaf of bread on, or not loaf, but another slice of bread on top, and then you smash them together, and you got a little stuffed sandwich kind of deal.
I expect lots and lots of jokes from online retailers who sell these about the dark side on the burnt toast side of things. I'm sure they'll make something about that, but yes, come to the peanut butter side of the Force. Very good. Cool. And the
next one was they announced their Celebration exclusive. I think this is one of the first companies, if not the actual first, that have announced their Celebration Anaheim exclusive. This is a set of Artifacts Plus statues, which includes the R3 A2 R2 unit, or I guess it's an R3 unit, and K3PO.
That's right. The Hoth cool. Protocol droid.
I like both of those droids. I think that, these are essentially their repaints of existing sculpts that they already have. I think there's a slight bit of, difference on the helmet, or not helmet, but the dome for the R3 unit, since it's clear and it's got a little bit of some detail differences on the sculpt itself. Yeah. But it's cool. I like those. And those, I can't remember what scale. I think they're like 1/7 scale.
Yeah, they're out of whack of the
a little bit smaller than a Sideshow 12-inch figure.
Very nice. So if you're an Astromech fan, that's a big day for you. But they do look cool.
Yeah, I've always liked that particular Astromech design, and then K3PO. I've always liked as well.
Yeah, he's. I do not remember the dirty splodge in his chest, but there we go.
Yeah, that was after the.
Oh, the Imperial's entered. There you go.
And nice I have a K3PO right here.
The Jayson challenge. Find that figure for us. You had that ready and waiting, didn't you?
I didn't. It's been here for months. It's just always sitting here. For no good reason.
Surrounded by figures.
Yeah.
What we got next?
Next bit was Funko. They kind of snuck out a new Fabrications figure this week. This had gone up for pre-order on various sites. This is the Darth Vader Fabrication plush figure.
That's right. It's. I thought this looked terrible. I don't know about you, but I really did not like this.
Yeah, I was. They've been so good. The previous ones, I think they've had the Yoda, the Greedo, Boba Fett, Chewbacca, which I don't think has actually made it out yet. I don't remember seeing.
Chewie's out.
Chewie is out. And is this the 5th one, or is this the 6th one?
We had Boba, Yoda, Chewie, Greedo.
This must be the 5th one.
The 5th one, yeah.
Those first 4 were really pretty decent from a design standpoint, but there's just something about this one is a little weird to me.
Yeah, the Marvel ones, the other Marvel ones did not look good either. So yeah, we skipped some of these as well. There's just something about them. Just the quality's changed a little bit. So
Hmm.
the first original designs, the Deadpools and Harleys, were just out of this world. They were really good. But hey, look, if this is your thing, then yeah, go get it.
Yeah, I can't tell what the finish of this is. Like, is it shiny, or is it just
Don't
the
know.
coloration of the fabric that makes it? I don't know. Because there are some of the plush ones that you see that are made out of that, fake leather
Yep.
looking vinyl crap,
Yeah.
and it looks cheap. And I'm
Yeah.
hoping they didn't go that route with this, because the ones that I do have, the fabric is really nice quality.
It is. Yeah.
So
But yeah, I think they might have gone a little cheap on these, cheating the quality of the product. Because again, the other ones look pretty much the same. They're all not great.
hmm.
But either if you want them.
Let's see. Next one here. This popped up just late tonight on Twitter. I had noticed this was a post by HobbyLink Japan. Um, I can't remember what this is called. Nendoroid Stormtrooper. If people don't know what the Nendoroid line is, it's kind of like, oh, they've had different Iron Man figures. I think there's even a Darth Vader version of this, in this style.
That's right, and it's very similar to the Good Smile company makes quite a few licensed toys. I just bought one a few weeks ago. The Link from Zelda,
Hmm.
the Nintendo game, and so there's a lot of products from that company, and they're very good. I have to add, those little stands that come there. But yeah, they all tend to have quite large proportioned heads.
Yeah, they're
But
like, don't they call them like the egghead things as well, or
it's
is that a
almost like that, isn't it? Yeah, Nano. I've called them egg. I've heard them called eggheads before, but yeah, this is Nendodroid or whatever you call it. Nendo. Oh, I can't even pronounce it.
Nendoroid? Yeah.
But
Um, have you ever seen one of these in person? Anything from the Nendoroid Good Smile Company line?
I have one literally just behind me. The Link from
Oh,
Nintendo
that's right.
Zelda.
So are
So
these plastic, or are they
they're
metal
vinyl.
parts?
They're
Oh, they're
vinyl.
vinyl. Okay.
They're vinyl. But very
Articulation?
well built, fully articulated. Yeah, they're absolutely fantastic, I have to say. A little pricey. I mean, this guy, I don't have much for him for this one, but the Link, for example, cost me about $40. But the stand is beautiful. The quality in the paintwork's excellent. Very well made. So yeah, if
Hmm.
that's your thing, then yeah, when it comes out, or Hobby Link Japan, you can get it straight from them.
Yeah, they'll probably have a pre-order announcement here shortly, if not this week. Let's see, a couple of customizing type of bits here. We had shared this on Yakface.com regarding some. Uh, it's a figure storage alternative that had been posted via Kickstarter. I can't remember well, Justin posted the article, but essentially what this is a stackable foam, divided type of tiered system where you could stack different layers on top of one another, and you could, it's essentially like if you remember the old vintage Kenner case action figure cases
That's right.
that you had. They had the trays that were inside those vinyl cases. These are essentially the same type of thing, but they're foam, and you can layer. It's unlimited as far as how you can stack them and balance them, I guess. Um, but it's just a different kind of alternative. And then there's like a top panel where you can insert different panels if you wish. There's a YouTube video
Yep.
that
I'm just playing that. Just I like the little nice kind of staging from all the figures there, but they're showing you some of the bits and pieces. And I think if we skip forward a little bit, we'll get to the how do you store these. But it's a beautiful idea. I think that the foam, it's very similar to kind of when you buy like a hot toy or something, and you get a lot of layers of protection and foam, and the figures almost cut out in that shape. That's what it reminded me of.
yep.
But and of course they've done it in a very nice vintage style. Let me go back a little bit there. Just there we go. So it looks good. It's a nice little display case, and I mean, it's essentially foam, really,
You're right.
but it's done with a nice panache, nice style. So yeah, and we there's a little box that comes with it as well, isn't there? There's kind of artwork. There we go. There's a little bit more of the images, and the guys behind it. But I guess there's obviously some licensing issues. Obviously, they've got to call it.
Yeah.
What's they're trying to reproduce the vintage style of it, obviously, but therefore they can't. But it's
Yeah.
nice.
Yeah. I thought it was kind of a interesting, take on how to do it. I mean, I think a lot of people store their stuff in baggies and
Yeah,
giant rubber totes, but if you want to have a little bit, either better presentation, easier access, a different way to do it, then this is a pretty decent alternative.
yeah. Interesting. It's really nice to see these kind of very niche things turning up on Kickstarter, very aimed at collectors, very much aimed at again just very niche and bespoke kind of stuff. But things that toys companies for years just have just not bothered with. I mean, when was the last time we had a carry case? I think it was probably Revenge of the Sith time where they reissued some
Yeah,
Darth Vader cases. I think it was. So
yeah,
and
yeah. I
we
think
don't buy one. I think I'd still buy one just now if I could get if they'd make one, but they don't. So.
some other custom news here. This was shared in our forums. This I can't remember the name of the customizer. Let me pull it up here quick. Sharky uh, came up with this very cool cut. I think you're one ahead there.
Oh, my bad.
The custom
Missed
Ahsoka
that.
is the one we're gonna chat about here.
Oh, my bad.
This is basically a uh, a tool of the outfit she wore in in season 4. I don't know if you recall that one.
I do not actually know. Wow, my
This
memory's gone
was
blank.
specifically from season 4, episode 13.
To be specific.
Yeah, Escape from Kadavo was the episode where they were both, her and Anakin were slaves on some planet. I
Oh,
think
that's right. I
this
remember.
was adapted from a comic book
That's
that
right.
they kind of pulled over into the actual series.
That was the slightly controversial cover for the comic as well, if I recall.
Right.
So
So pretty cool to be able to get a new Ahsoka out there since we haven't had a Ahsoka figure in quite a
yeah,
while.
it's weird considering how popular the Ahsoka was in the Clone Wars line, even in the vintage collection line, how incredibly popular she was. That Hasbro never plumbed into to make a different figure because again, a large part of it would be recycled.
Right.
I was odd that they missed out the opportunity for that, but there you go.
Another custom bit here was some custom pod racer pilots. These were done by customizer My Kind of Scum. He had posted this link in our forums. These are based off of the as-is film models that you can purchase and then uh, customize to your liking. They come just cast piece blank, unfinished in any way, and then you
Wow.
finish them off yourself. Uh, if you follow us on Twitter, we often share their announcements of new product. But if you go to ASUSFilmModels.com, we'll have a link in the show notes. You can see all the different products that they offer. They have quite a bit of different stuff, ranging from pod racers and Sith.
I don't remember these characters at all.
Yeah,
Never mind. Okay.
yeah. There's like a half a dozen Phantom Menace pod racer pilots that you can
Yep.
pick up,
Wow.
um,
Never
and
seen
then
these guys.
and then characters from like the Dark Times comic, Legacy comic, Vector, Knights of the Old Republic.
I see.
It's a bunch of different stuff there, and they posted some stuff on Twitter just a couple days ago. There's like a Hoth, Han Solo, a Tauntaun they're working on, just a bunch of different stuff. So it's pretty cool. Very talented group over there.
Yet again, awesome customizers doing amazing stuff that Hasbro would never do. So all good. Oh, sorry. There's the link. The your link there was. Let me just share it on screen for people that hadn't seen it. There you go. So I missed out on them. Not seeing those images. They're sharing them there. One Sandage.
Yep.
Okay. Very good.
Pretty cool. Let's see. I saw this article shared over via Sideshow Collectibles. Someone had taken one of those those quadcopter drone type radio control vehicles and constructed a custom Millennium Falcon shell to go around the outside and made a custom Millennium Falcon drone. And it happens to be the Falcon from The Force Awakens because it has the square radar dish.
Wow. So they even added all those details. Very good. Just trying to share some of that on screen just now. Let's get by the ad. There we go.
So it's got lights and...
That looks fantastic.
It's unbelievable.
Really, that's a Falcon, baby. That's epic. That really is good. Just shows you that again the detail. I mean, this is something that you'd think Hasbro could do.
They
or
did have
whatever
something.
toy company.
They did have something similar a couple years ago. You know, it was a single blade or a single propeller type of deal.
That. Yeah.
Nothing this involved, obviously, but this is pretty intense with the the lights, and it's got a huge range on it. I mean, you can see how far, if you watch the video, it has a huge range.
Yeah.
It's pretty.
I want a Falcon for Christmas. A real one.
Yeah.
That's so cool. That is very, very cool. Well done to those guys behind that. Nice. 8 minutes battery. Woof. Jeez. Nice.
And the last bit of custom news for this week was something that was shared in our forum again. Someone had come up with the 6-scale version of the moisture evaporators from Tatooine.
Oh, nice. 6-scale.
Yep.
Excellent.
So I think that is, that's being pictured next to Hasbro's original C-3PO figure from way back in the 90s. But still, you get the sense of scale with it if you can remember that figure.
Barely, but
barely.
Oh, so that was from the previous weeks we shared the.
Yeah, it's from the same customizer that did that huge room.
That's right. Yeah.
That
That's
he had dedicated to his diorama.
Wow. Oh, customizers, you are an amazingly talented bunch. You really are. The things you do. Very slick. Cool.
Let's see. Moving on to TV, book, and game news. I think this week Star Wars #2 was released. This one picks up where the first issue that left off, where we were kind of in question as to where did it really happen that Luke and Vader had met prior to The Empire Strikes Back, and yep, that wasn't a dream or anything in the comic. It's now canon that they fought before. So,
well, kind of.
Kind of fought. They had an interaction prior to what we saw, and
I think without spoiling it, I mean, I think they had to. The picture hasn't came up here yet. I don't know whether there's a picture for this.
Should be. Might have to refresh or something. I don't know.
Go back, but have you had a chance to read through the second issue yet?
Yeah, I picked up the digital version.
Yep. I've got it to read tonight, so I'll have a read of that. But I mean, even the I know what I'm going to do. The comic itself. I mean, that sequence we're talking about there. I mean, obviously something happens and interrupts. They couldn't have gone on any longer. Otherwise, it would have. The whole continuity would have just been out the window. So it's brief, but it's cool. It's definitely very cool. So good story.
Yeah, there's some decent dialogue exchanges between the two. not to spoil it or anything. I mean, it's been out for a week or not quite a week, but
Mhm.
you basically in the duel, Vader, force grabs the lightsaber from Luke, and he recognizes it as his own old lightsaber, which is kind of a neat,
Yeah.
little throw out to people out there. So
And it almost kind of ties in Return of the Jedi as well, where he
right.
then says, "I see you've constructed your own lightsaber." So that's a nice little tie. I like that. Very cool. Talking of
Um,
comics.
More cover variants. Issue number 1 for Star Wars was a big variant issue, over 100. It looks like some of these other lines or titles that they're releasing are going to have nothing that large as number 1, but still going to have a varied number of variant covers. 20 plus. It looks like for most of them. Princess Leia, which is going to come out, I think, in March or April, has several different ones. And again, they're going with the action figure cover variant, which attracts both of us, I know.
Definitely, definitely. Pre-ordered mine already a week or so ago, and got it for the some bargain of about $4 delivered. So good old Midtown Comics. They're a great bunch of guys to get some of these variants, but I've never even seen these. And hats off to the Jedi Bibliotech, the German site, for listing some of these, because most of the US sites don't even have these up yet. So,
Yep.
Wow,
Yeah, there's some that cover is really good.
pretty slick. Yeah. I love these blank covers as well. It's actually a nice little niche stuff. And the Scotty Young ones, if you've been collecting the Star Wars #1 version and the Darth Vader version, they're all very similar, and they just look great as a set if you haven't collected them. But this
Yeah,
really has got me back into comics in a big way. Sorry, what were
yeah.
you saying?
I was gonna say a lot of these comics too, these that have been done by the same artist, different titles,
Yeah,
covers lock, or they
locked together
form
and
a
make a.
locked. Yeah, they have a expandable picture as far as placing one next to another makes it a greater overall picture. It's kind of cool.
It is cool, yeah. It definitely appeals to the collector nature. This whole
Yeah.
keeping the continuity going, and but they're selling fast. They are selling fast. That the Darth Vader one I think we spoke about last night, and the Leia one is pretty much a few places already sold out. So be quick, that's for sure. And talking about comics again.
Yes, the Vader cover variants. That one comes out very soon. Um, they have again 20 plus different covers. The action figure cover, obviously.
Yeah, pre-ordered mine too. Nice. That's going to be incredibly popular. That one.
I think so.
It really is. Just looks beautiful. And there's the Midtown comic. That's another one these guys are doing. It's a whole wraparound diorama thing, which is a really nice piece. Very Shadows of the Empire feel that these guys have done. It's their exclusive, but there's some beauties in there. That this one here, the Alex horse, I think it is.
Mm-hmm.
That's fantastic. Love the colors on that. That's a lot of the same comic with different covers. It really
Right.
is. It's and I think we talked about this Boba Fett one on
Yeah, the
some.
Boba Fett one's great.
Yeah, the Alex Ross one. That's a beautiful looking cover there from the holiday special. Lots and lots of comics. Yeah, it's definitely driven me back into comics. I know a lot of people that are into these as well now, but it's just been putting a lot of people to look at their comic collection again or start collecting again, which is always a good thing. Comics are awesome. Cool.
See, moving on to TV stuff. Star Wars Rebels. The main news, I guess, that will be for Monday. That was kind of spoiled, 2 weeks ago almost now, and through various postings and announcements via StarWars.com. Grand Moff Tarkin is going to be in the next episode. And
That's right, voiced by Stephen Stanton again.
right, Entertainment Weekly had posted an exclusive article with a couple videos showing some clips from the upcoming episode, as well as a couple images from the show.
That's right. So yeah, he's a very gaunt, even more gaunt than he was before. Looking in this
Right.
version, but even Stephen Stanton's voice form has just changed a little bit as well. So there are even little liver spots, apart from the huge sheer logos there, but the liver spots in his head, and it's
Yeah.
beautifully designed. Beautifully designed.
The episode's really good. If people haven't had a chance to see it yet, some people are waiting for it to air officially, or they don't, they can't watch it online or whatnot. It is a pretty decent episode. It,
Excellent. And talking of Star Wars Rebels,
there were some rumors just the past couple days regarding who may or may not show up for season two. Um, Kind of spoiler warning here. This was posted by MakingStarWars.net. I think I can't remember. They were sharing an article via comics.
FTW, yeah,
Yeah,
they leaked it, but
for the win. I think that's what that might stand for.
that's right.
Anyway, they were saying or speculating that Vader, Palpatine, and Ahsoka are going to show up in season two, in the season two premiere, which would be kind of a lot to digest right out of the gate for season two.
Well, I mean, I think in some ways, I mean, you and I could speculate right now, and I could pretty much guarantee. I think there will be a Boba Fett appearance without a doubt. As a crowd pleaser,
sounds like they're bringing the whole band back together with.
Why wouldn't you? You know, it's a nice connotation and connection, and it made great press. The Lando alone was something that just garnered a lot of press. It's definitely good for them, and they've got a rich kind of history of characters they can tap into. Darth Vader we've seen, so it kind of makes sense. They're mostly Palpatine, and we did see him in the Clone Wars. And Ahsoka's the real leak, I think, here. The whole is she Fulcrum kind of thing, which I think is pretty much everybody's saying yes.
That's what it seems to be.
That would be good. Actually, 16 back there, and again, good continuity and tie it all in. And
yeah, there was also word later or earlier this evening that it's rumored that Han is going to show up in this season as well. So,
which should mean Chewie.
Yeah, you could speculate as much. Might as well. Chewie, Han, Lando's already there. We've seen C-3PO and R2-D2. There's rumor that Hondo is coming back from the Clone Wars.
That's right. Yeah.
Might as well.
That's right. Well, I mean, again, in some ways, from an animation point of view, they've already made these characters as well.
Right.
To a certain degree, drag the PSD into whatever package. I'm kidding on, but whatever package they're using, I'm sure it'll be relatively easy to tweak them and get them going. But
speaking of Clone Wars, it was posted earlier this week via the Daily Mail that Australia and New Zealand are going to be getting the Clone Wars full series via Netflix, which I thought was cool. It seems like it's obviously been forever since the whole season had come out on Netflix here in the U.S., but they made some sort of a deal.
That's right.
To show the whole series in Australia, New Zealand.
Right. Well, Netflix is just about to launch in Australia and New Zealand
in March, I think.
Yeah, it had so many people who were basically changing their IP to a US address to get access to it because Australian TV is just terrible. And so yeah, they're finally getting it. So there's obviously they have to redo deals and different information. But yeah, it's a shame. It seems like, I mean, again, the UK I think got Clone Wars just a little bit after, or still haven't got it quite.
I don't think they've got it yet.
Which just seems really weird. If they want to stop piracy and get people enjoying these things, they got to release them at the same time globally. But never mind. So that'd be good though. It's good these guys are getting Netflix and good they're getting some good shows.
Yep. You had shared this article from Podcast 66.
That's right. From the guys at Dark Side of the Force, Ryan Donahoe and the team there. They did a really good podcast this week. It's literally 2 hours long, but they went into some great comments around just exactly what I've been kind of whining on a little bit there about the problems about the getting access to programs when they come out. Their issue is more they're US based. They're just basically saying about the spoilers we mentioned. Why are they seeing spoilers like Tarkin when it's maybe like 2 weeks out before they could actually physically get to watch the show? And they felt that the Rebels were just a little bit ahead of themselves with the whole release schedule and information. So interesting discussion, and I have to agree with them. I think they're right. It just seems to be a little bit. We're talking about episodes that haven't yet aired, and it'd be nicer if we kept a little bit more under wraps. But that's just me, I think. So.
Well, I mean, I agree with that as well. I mean, I have taken advantage of the system and watched the new episodes as soon as they're available. Like the one we had just talked about, the one that comes out Monday. I saw that 2 weeks ago almost. It's weird, but not uncommon for Disney to do that with their shows. But
Yep.
I do agree that it takes some of the impact out of the series if a certain segment of the population have seen it before everyone else.
I mean, I get it, the exclusivity of it, and they're trying to drive digital sales and awareness, but again, as I was kind of harping on a bit last night, I think to the 9th degree again, but I felt it was diluting the whole output. I mean, it's almost like saying, well, The Force Awakens, despite its release date in cinemas globally, everyone who pays a premium can get to see it a week early. Now, lots of people would.
Right.
But what if they don't have access to it? I mean, and then everyone's tweeting and spoiling out the, Darth Vader's in it, or X is in it, or Han Solo dies, or whatever. I mean, you'd just feel like, thanks, So it's, I don't know. It's
and there's the whole etiquette thing that you kind of have to balance as well. Like, let's say, I've seen it, 2 weeks prior to anyone else. Does that mean I have to kind of self-censor any kind of comment that I make regarding the show? It's like it is out. It's been released. It's available to anyone that can access it. So does that mean spoilers are fair game, or and then a week later after they've released it, they issue like Entertainment Weekly some sort of exclusive with some videos and whatnot, essentially spoiling the reveal for the show.
That's right.
And it's not really spoiling it because it's their stuff, so they're not spoiling it. And then it comes out a week later.
Yeah. It's just look, they're excited about the show. They're going to market it. They're going to talk about it, but it just seems a little preemptive and a little bit early, I think. But
right. Well, and it's like, where do you draw the line as far as, like I said, what do you consider a spoiler? And I mean, I'm not going to spoil this point, but I'll say that in the episode that airs Monday, 2 characters die.
Well, I mean, you've not given away who it is. I mean, my point is as well. We could be talking about it. We could be talking about The Force Awakens here, and saying, I think Boba Fett's going to be in it. What do you think? That's speculation and rumor.
Right.
And to me, tough if you live in this world, because the internet's out there and people are going to talk about that stuff. They're going to talk about rumors, or to me, that's just rumors. That's not. But this is confirmed it's from StarWars.com, and they're releasing information out early when. I kind of wish they'd just shut up about it and just wait until the day it airs. At least then we all know when it's going to be. And as I was saying last time, you can stay off Twitter. You know that they're gonna. It's like when Marvel maybe sometimes live tweet an episode. I literally turn off my notifications because one, I'd be spammed to death, and two, I don't want to know what happens in Agent Carter or Agents of Shield because I want to watch it like 24 hours later or something. So, but we're nitpicking, I think. But interesting to see what other people thought. And if you're watching the recap, please leave a comment below and tell us, what do you think? Are they spoiling Rebels or not? So.
I'm a big fan of like live tweeting the episode. People can, in the past I've prefaced my tweets saying, I'm going to be live tweeting this episode if you don't want to.
And you've been pretty safe when you tweet stuff. You've not really,
Yeah, I try not to get too nuts, and I'm usually, I would say, 99.9% of the time really careful about what I do tweet out if I have watched the episode prior to its air date, because I don't want to, I don't want to be that guy that says, such and such dies, or oh, that was cool, too bad he's not going to be around next season. That kind of stuff.
Yeah, well, Marvel's the worst. If you've ever seen some of their stuff for
Yeah.
Agents of Shield and Agent Carter, and the thing is, the East Coast and the West Coast of the states here still.
Right.
I've seen so many tweets saying, "God damn it, shut up, stop saying this stuff," but it just goes wild. They just don't care. So
when it airs on the East Coast, 6 hours before the West Coast gets it.
The whole thing's spoiled. What do you mean she dies and all this kind of stuff? It's crazy. So yeah, stay off Twitter, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Stay off the internet completely. Cool.
Moving on to a little bit of movie news here. There's rumor, I still don't know if this is a thing or not, some spin-off talk this week regarding the casting of Felicity Jones, who, if you don't know who that is, she was in most recently the movie The Theory of Everything. She played Stephen Hawking's wife in that movie. She's apparently cast as the main character in whatever spin-off movie is coming out. One of the 3 spin-off movies. We don't know if she's a main character, if she's what. We don't know what the spin-off movie's about.
Yeah.
It's like, if this can't be any more non-news than it is,
But
we don't know.
I notice a lot of...
Yeah. StarWars.com and Lucasfilm haven't confirmed anything yet, so it's not. I can't really take this on face value yet.
Well, the thing is, she could end up being the female equivalent of what Lobot was in The Empire Strikes Back. Basically, She might say nothing and do nothing.
Background character A.
I'm not saying she would be, but
right.
You just don't know. It might be an incredibly insignificant role, a little cameo or something. And everybody's like, "Oh, she's Leia's daughter," and no, we don't know. So.
Yeah, because there was talk about another actress from that show, Orphan Black, as being
that's right
cast as a Sabine.
Yes, that's right. I'm jumping into things like that, and some of it may be true, but it's
so up in the air.
Mussolini, yeah.
Let's see what else. There was also, I don't believe this one bit, but there was talk this week that J.J. Abrams is requesting that the Force Awakens movie release date be pushed forward. I don't know if you had caught that article. And this was because of all of these, I guess, the leaks that have come out so far. I don't know. I can't see Disney ever altering their plan.
Pray they don't alter it further. No.
Yeah.
This feels a little link grabby to me, a little bit,
Link grabby? Is that what you said?
I don't know. Just it feels a little kind of or headline, or click grabbing or something. Just kind of trying to get people link baiting.
Clickbait.
Clickbait. It's kind of like these days. If J.J. Abrams goes to the toilet, a lot of sites I'll post about. I'm not saying Paul did. I don't mean like that, but it's again complete speculation and rumor. We who knows? But there was reports last week. Bob Iger mentioned some stuff, and whilst it was mentioned, it's still not really truly coming out as official. It's not coming out in official sources.
Yeah.
But don't know.
I just don't see it ever happening. There's so much stuff tied to the established release date. I could see it maybe moving a couple days, but not like months forward or back. Think of all the product tie-in that's would have to shift around, and it would just. You think Hasbro's got a problem now? Wait,
Yeah.
They were already dealt that blow when they canceled the 3D versions of Attack of the Clones and Revenge of the Sith.
Sure. Well, principal photography for The Force Awakens has, as far as we know, wrapped completely.
Yep.
So, which wasn't that long ago. Digital effects have still got to be done, and that's months of work. So unless, I guess they could have an army of people on this thing.
Right. And I think it was stated that there isn't a rough cut of the film yet, even, which makes sense to me. We're still 10 months away from the release date.
Well, Well, there's. I don't know what's gonna. It's been a very weird. I still, I think we talked about it before. It still bemuses me how all this Force Awakens concept art and stuff got leaked. Nobody said anything, which seemed
Right.
very, very odd. And then all of a sudden, somebody get done for it last week. Yeah, I think there was a lot of self-publicity about this.
It
That
does seem that
stuff.
way.
It does seem that way. A lot of companies do it, but
And I haven't heard of this site
neither
before.
have
That
I. iQuiz,
this
never heard of it.
iQuiz.
They do quizzes apparently.
Hmm.
So
What else? The last bit here. You and I were both on the Wolfpack podcast last night, where we are. You'll find us on occasion. I would say
that's
we
right.
pop up, weekly, if not bi-weekly, it seems. And we talked about a lot of stuff, that we covered here tonight, but wanted to depth on other bits regarding Rebels and whatnot. So
Yep, definitely check them out. The Wolfpack podcast number 122. Good old discussion, and a lot of the stuff we spoke about here tonight on the real recap was we just kind of went even further into there. So yeah, if you liked
So
more, get more.
yeah, we were on there with Corey and Dan and who else was there? It was it was a
Marco
nice
and
lunch.
Chris,
Marco, yep,
and I think that was it. So it was a good show. Good fun.
absolutely. Let's see. Moving on to new toy acquisitions and purchases for the week. Why don't you kick things off for this segment?
For me, um, I was very lucky this week. I got a lot. I got my Christmas present from my gorgeous wife,
Oh,
Flygirl.
oh
So,
my!
dun dun dun! This is Igor from Hot
That
Toys,
thing is
and it's
massive.
huge. It is absolutely huge.
Damn.
Here is a 6-inch. I can hold this up. There's a 6-inch Black Series figure.
He
So
doesn't
that
go
might
through.
give you an idea. It's just about as big as his head, or big as his hand. So it's an absolutely huge, humongous piece. Lights up, does a ton of stuff. I'll get a review up in the next week on, if not tomorrow, on Tech Sushi, my kind of Marvel and known Star Wars channel. And just as luck would have it, my bank account is just crying at the moment. The other acquisition I had this week was one which I'd pre-ordered a long, long time ago, which was, if I can stay in the stand, the Hot Toys RoboCop,
Cool.
which is die-cast metal in parts, and he's particularly good. I haven't quite got the batteries yet, but it comes with sound as well. But it's a beautiful, beautiful piece, working holster, and so yeah, rather over the top. No Angry Birds or cheap toys here this week. Quite a bit. So nothing else was bought, let me tell you. So saving the pennies. What about you?
For me, very light week. Just
Some
my
rivals.
just within the last couple days, I imagine I was able to score some of the new mission series packs. Yesterday, Friday, I was able to pick up the Wicket with the Scout Trooper, and then when was it? Oh, it was yesterday as well. I was able to score the Sabine with Stormtrooper pack as well as the Wookiee sets. And then today I got the Bosk and IG-88 mission series set.
They look good.
Yeah. That IG-88 is really good in there.
And I mean, again, he was 5 points of articulation, really, kind of.
Yeah,
So you're not really missing out much.
right. I mean, the Vintage Collection one is obviously awesome, but this one,
Sure.
there's just a ton of paint detail on him. I mean, he's not just a gray slab of plastic with a few bit of highlights here and there. He's got a lot of paint apps applied to him. So,
Excellent.
yeah.
Some reviews to do this week then.
Yeah, I'll be doing some photography this week, starting maybe after the show. Um, what else? I think that was it for this week, other than just a couple online purchases that I haven't received yet. A couple of Vinimation deals and some comic pre-orders that I put up. So
Excellent.
that was it. With that, I think that wraps up this week's show. Again, we'd like to thank everyone for watching, sharing, and listening and whatnot, commenting. We will be back next week to talk about Toy Fair.
Hopefully, if I'm
Going to-
around.
Yeah,
We'll
that's
try and
true.
We'll get some.
Yeah, it might be a late show or maybe even a Sunday show. We'll have to see, depending on logistics and whatnot. But we'll try to get together either on the weekend or early part of next week to go over everything that was revealed at Toy Fair.
Sounds good.
Sounds good. We will see you all next week, and we, again, thank you for watching. See you later.
See you later.